Oh, George Wallace, you are so much fun. Hi, everybody. It's Sybil. Welcome in. I am Sybil Wilkes, and a welcome into our old friend and Mr. Las Vegas, Mr. Entertainment, Mr. Never leaves you without a laugh in your heart, George Wallace.
Dr. George Wallace, that's the way I see it. Let's go back to in the 90s. That's the way I see it, and that's the way it ought to be. We're here for
Okay.
you today, okay?
Okay. All right. That is a reference to, I guess, our question of the day, and we will come up with that. We will visit that
Question of the
later
day.
on.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm anxious to hear it. The question of the day.
George, how are you? What's going on with you? Where you been? What's the words? What's the haps? What's the goings ons?
I've been so good in the past week. Of course, I ran out to California to do my first TV show. I did the talk out there with Cheryl Underwood. That was so
Yeah,
good.
congratulations.
Thank you. Then I went back to Las Vegas, and I went on stage, Sybil, at the Comedy Cellar, and I guess I'm a pretty good comedian. I must be pretty good.
Was there ever a doubt?
No, when you haven't been on stage but 10 times in 2 years and to go on
Yeah.
a show with these young comedians, and they blew the room away. They said, "What do you want to go on?" I said, "Well, put me on third or fourth." Sybil, they blew the room away. But to have your man George Wallace go up there and even
And blow the room
blow
away.
it more, but the people tell you this after you get off stage. It's not you. It's a man, you stole the show. And I only did 15 minutes, and I was just doing things about the new jokes that I have. I tell people I haven't written a joke in 2 years, and then I proceed to go into shit that just happened, like about who has the best job in the world,
Uh-huh.
And I said, "You like Jake?" And everybody said, "Jake from State Farm." Yeah. So we had a great time. Jake from and he has the worst job in the world. That's why I don't trust anybody in a red polo shirt anymore. Nobody. Nobody.
So even Tiger Woods on his last day of playing golf on that Sunday course, you don't trust him either?
He's in there, right? Tiger Woods. Look what happened to him. And a Genesis, I had to do that joke in a Genesis, and it was good for the sales company, because sales went through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as Tiger did.
Yeah.
And so that joke I had
Why
never put
am
on
I
stage.
laughing?
Listen to me. That joke I had never put on stage. And I said, Tiger was driving this new car. I think I've told you this joke before, but I never put it on stage. He was driving this new Genesis car, and this is the only car on the market right now that has a black box. And Tiger ain't never seen no black box before. He saw the black box, so I take the red polo shirt and I go into Targets, and the people in Targets, how they treat you in the red shirt. The only person I trust in a red polo shirt are the people at Chick-fil-A, because you can get there at 9:59 on a long line, and when you get up there, they can say, "Sir, we're sorry, it's 10 o'clock and we're closed." And you can curse them out. You some of them, some use them, and all they can say to you is, "Sir, it's my pleasure." It's my pleasure. So I had so much fun on stage, and I can't wait to get back on stage. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on stage in the city of Chicago. Yeah, have you ever heard of Chicago?
I have heard of that city, yes.
Mother's Day weekend, be prepared at Riddle's Coming to Club. I'm going to visit. I'm not, what do you say? I'm not a headline. I'm not posted on the show.
Right.
I'm visiting my friend, Myra J. I'm going to be her guest comedian there. And so we looked.
So you're going to open for Myra J.?
Whatever Myra J wants, whatever she wants to do, she will tell me what to do. So I don't have a position on the show. I'm going to be doing less than 15 minutes, but it's going to be new, and it's going to be in Chicago.
Oh,
and if anybody, let me make this perfectly clear right now. If anybody feels comfortable walking up on the stage and getting a mic stand wrapped around your neck and in your ass, because I'm 6'12", I'm 290 pounds, and you come on up there, and you much oblige your wish. So,
George, you see, you're the gentlest soul. All your weapons are through your words, and that just brings laughter. So for you to say, "I'm 6 feet 12 inches tall and 500 pounds, and I'm a linebacker, and I will kick your,"
you can say it on the show. Your A. It's Tom used to say the A word. Yeah.
The A word, the big A word. So George, I'm so excited that you are out there and that you are doing things and obviously traveling. So that's a good thing, right?
But I'm only flying on planes that have my own pod. I got my own. They call it little suites now.
Oh, right.
So I'm only doing those. So, but
so that means you're really traveling fancy.
The problem is I got a bed and I don't sleep, and that's stupid.
Oh, that is. I understand that. Yeah, I truly understand that. All right, George Wallace. So Let's take a breath. And now it is time for our What You Need to Know newsletter. That's
Let's do
right.
it.
That's
What
right.
you need to know.
What You Need to Know is our Monday through Friday newsletter. And that is what we do each and every day to bring news pertaining to the African American community to our subscribers. If you would like to subscribe, please go to SybilWilkes.com. It's absolutely free. I will tell you each and every day, it's absolutely free. And it will engage you, it will inform, and it will empower you.
This is the one thing that really is absolutely free. Most things that says free, there's an asterisk there. But this is really, really free because sometimes they tell you right now, free, get a second pair for free. And you only have to pay shipping and handling charges.
That's
And it
not
comes
free.
and it comes in the same box. Nothing is this is free though.
That's right.
This is free.
That's absolutely right. So, George, I want to give folks a bit of the coronavirus update that we do every day. And there's still information to be had and information to be learned about the coronavirus. This pandemic is not over.
Not at all.
And so they have recommended that the nearly 17 million Americans, and this might be you, I'm not sure, George, but I think this might pertain to you. The 17 million Americans who received the
Don't you say that. Don't you say that. I don't know whether it's pertaining to you or not. Is that over 50?
No. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that part. But this is about folks who took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Are you the one-shot Johnson & Johnson
Hell
vaccine?
no, I ain't take no Johnson & Johnson. I ain't no Magic Johnson. I took, the first one I took was a Moderna. And then my second one was Pfizer, and my third one was Pfizer. Did I get a fourth one yet?
Yeah, it's about to happen. Yeah.
No, I already got a fourth one, right?
You got a third. So you have the 2 shots, you had the booster, and now the second booster is going to be available to folks 50 and over. But this is about the 17 million Americans who took the one Johnson & Johnson shot.
Yeah.
They say that they should get a booster of either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. According to the data, they said those who got the Johnson & Johnson.
You made me spit on myself. You got these black names in your head and you can't get away from it.
Right. And so they said that those people who got it, they are less protected against the serious illnesses and hospitalizations than those of us that got the Moderna or the Pfizer.
So please, people, if you got the Johnson & Johnson, we're glad you got it, but go and get yourself a booster so you can be a better person, a better patient, and you can what is it, the disease, you can handle it better. You won't be as sick.
Yeah.
Even if you get it.
The level of the disease, as well as hospitalizations and things like that, are not as severe with the Moderna or the Pfizer and Pfizer.
And for those of you that did not get a shot at all, please go get vaccinated. It is important. You see the numbers, you see what's happening, and it happened in my family. A friend of mine, she says, I'm not vaccinated, and she was in the hospital for 3 weeks.
Oh, George.
And I couldn't go off.
Oh no!
I couldn't go off.
Not at that position when she's laying in a hospital bed for 3 weeks. It's not. I mean, but hopefully she's learned her. Did she go and get vaccinated?
Well, I said, well, you're taking the shots now, ain't you?
That's what I'm asking.
What they're putting you now. She said, she has to wait because of her the medicine she's getting now, but she's gonna get it. But don't wait till something happens to you. You see what the numbers are. I feel bad for people just say, well, I don't know what they put in me. And you've been through all of that. You heard all of that before. But
George, all the things that we've eaten and put in our bodies, come on. I still do. That whole rationale just doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work.
You
don't even know what's on a Chick-fil-A, and you'll eat one of those every day. You don't know what's on a Shake Shack. You don't know what's in this big Newton bar. It just, you don't know. I don't know what's. I'm telling my business right now.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's in this Metamucil, but I'm taking it. And you eat your barbecue ribs and the pork, you eat everything, and I don't know what. I'm taking that booster. Even though the fourth booster, I'll be thinking, it seems as though they're getting to the point now where these pharmaceutical companies, that's another way of making some more money. But I'm gonna take it either way.
Yeah, it's not costing us yet, but eventually, I think it. And you may disagree with me. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. I think that it's going to become like the flu shot, and so then we will have to pay, or our insurance will take care of it.
Yeah, that's okay if the insurance takes care of it. Insurance they got Plenty of money. Our insurance will take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
it
you
is
should
going,
get the shot.
but somebody is going to have to pay for it. I mean, the government has paid for all of this now, but I think in the future, as we become more into the whole coronavirus and as they say, it becomes more like the flu, that those boosters, those shots will be something that we'll do on a regular basis.
Well, are you going to get your 4th booster? Did you have your 3rd booster yet?
I have not had the booster. And I have not had I think I'm still
That's why
within
your hair is growing on the left side of your head.
and not
No,
on the other side.
I'm
No, I'm not eligible for the 3rd shot for the booster yet.
yeah, okay. 8 months.
So yeah, so as soon as I am, I think I had my 2nd shot in December, and so
You were late.
I was.
Yeah, okay.
But here's the other thing. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't, and I was just letting everybody get in line that, I felt needed to get their shots and the front line and all of those people. And then I went in, I think it was May when I went and got the 1st shot, and then it was December. And so now I'll wait for them to tell me I can get the booster, but I'm
Well, that's
getting it.
cool.
Yeah,
But that's cool that you get. We had a friend named Hope Flood. She was in hospital for 6 weeks. She just told us last week. We're going,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
She didn't tell anybody, but it's amazing. So try to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely, George, and God bless her. And here's to
Mhm.
a successful recovery on Hope's part. Lord knows we need all the good comedians we can get, and so
Yes, we need that laughter. That is the most important thing. No matter what happens in life, we need laughter. Laughter is healing. Whatever's
yep,
going on with the war, whatever's going on in these theaters and with people, we need laughter is the glue. I talked about that on CNN this morning. Laughter is the
nice.
glue of everything that's going on. Even when you go to funerals now, what? It's got to be some laughter there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, it's got to be some funny stuff,
Mhm.
because we have enough, and this is good news, but it's nothing to laugh at, George. After
How the hell you
100,
got good news and you can't laugh at it?
well, it's good news in that we're seeing some progression, but it's just taken too darn long for this to happen. After 122 years, lynching is now a federal hate crime.
Yesterday.
122 years, George.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
And
crazy.
thank
Joe
God to the
Biden
lady. Yeah, go ahead.
Joe Biden signed the legislation that for decades or centuries in the making, the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill. 200 attempts, George, to make this a crime, make it a federal hate crime. The first time, and I think the history of this is really fascinating. The first time this bill was brought up on the floor of the United States Congress was in the year 1900
Mhm.
by the only Black congressman at
What
that
was it?
time,
And his name was George Henry.
White.
Same as my name, George. Same initials. George Henry Wallace, George Henry White.
Yep. Yep.
I knew him. I'm old.
I beg to differ on that, but
Okay.
it's just fascinating that here's the only Black congressman in the United States Congress from North Carolina, and he went. I mean, I think it took a lot for
He
him to
was a
go on the floor
Republican.
of the Congress. Yeah, as a Republican, because that's what Black folks were back then.
Yeah, my mom and dad was Republican.
Yeah, my grandmother.
Mhm.
My mother and my grandmother used to get in some fights. Oh my Lord, my grandmother was, and she didn't think anything was wrong with Richard Nixon. But so he was a Republican, and he went on the floor of the United States Congress and put this bill out there, and absolutely nothing happened. And 122
22
years
years
later,
later.
God bless Bobby Rush, the congressman who is
Yeah, from
retiring
Chicago. Yeah.
from Chicago, is retiring from the U.S. Congress, is the sponsor of this bill, and spoke out at the Rose Garden ceremony, as well as the vice president, who was once a sponsor of the bill in the United States Senate. So it's a law. It's a federal hate crime. And it was too long in coming. And then, of course, we talk about the history of Emmett Till and what his brave mother did, which was the impetus, the spark that began the civil
Mhm.
rights movement.
Isn't that wonderful? I hope everybody got to watch that documentary. I thought that was so awesome. And the mother saying, "No, don't touch the body.
Right.
Let the world see what happened there."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything has come to fruition. And we got the bill signed yesterday. 122 years as a hate crime. What do you have to do to be a hate crime? That's why I'm pissed off. I don't understand. I don't understand the John Lewis voting right bill. I just don't understand it.
You mean you don't understand why it's not
I
been
don't.
passed?
I don't understand why there is one. You're born
What?
in America. You're born in America. You got a Social Security card. You vote. Just that simple.
That would be great if that were just the way that as simple as it should be,
So
George. But
what should it be? If you're
well,
born in America, you're 18 years old, you can go to war, you can get killed. Why can't I vote?
but because of previous
Those people.
elections, and especially in 2020, when Joe Biden won, and the people who supported him, were really doing everything they could to get people out to vote. The other side said, "No, we don't want this. We don't want any more. We want to take away the opportunities for people to vote."
That's exactly right.
And
So it
so
shouldn't be
that's why
there.
we have this. And here's the other part, George. The Supreme Court has not helped either.
Oh, don't talk about the Supreme Court today, because I was talking.
The United States Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act, and so as a result, this is why we have the John Lewis Voting Rights enactment bill, and so it's all of these things that have happened to the detriment of Black people, of brown people, of
Yes.
the minorities, and so they figure that there must be a federal way to do this, and of course, historically, Republicans are states' rights people, and the states' bills have taken away our voting rights. And so we
Exactly.
have to do it on the federal level in order to make this happen, just like lynching.
122 years.
122 years. You got it.
Crazy.
You got it. It is crazy. And I do want to talk about one more story, and that is in our Women's History Month, as we have come past that now, but we are still saluting women. And it's also a part of our check-in and check-up segment. This is about Thema Bryant and her mission to change mental health and decolonize psychology. She is not only a minister, but she has just been elected president of the American Psychological Association, the leader of the largest organization of 130,000 psychologists. And she says
Oh
that
my God.
that's right.
A Black lady.
Exactly. Exactly. And so her approach, as she calls it, unique and unlike previous leaders. She says she wants to decolonize psychology, showing mental health professionals how to use song, dance, and other forms of culture in their treatment for people.
That's great. That's
Isn't
what we
it?
do with laughter. That's what I always tell people we can do with laughter too.
Right.
And but she's unique. She's really good, and she's 130,000.
130,000 members strong. Yep.
And she's African American, and she's in charge.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
she said, according to the latest data, fewer than 1 in 5 psychologists are people of color, and fewer than 1 in 30 is Black. Isn't that incredible? So she's a tenured professor at Pepperdine in Los Angeles, as you like to call it. She's also an ordained elder in the AME Church, African.
You know what? You can put those two together immediately, right? Being that smart and then going to the AME Church.
That's right. That's right. And she is one that we salute in our newsletter, and so we thank her for all of her great work, and absolutely to keep her in your prayers, but also to thank her for the work she's doing, and follow along, and we give the information about following her on Instagram and Twitter and social media, just like they do you. You're the king of Twitter.
Well, I love Twitter, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm getting ready to move over to more to Facebook, because I can make some money on Facebook. I just now reached 900,000 followers on my Twitter account, so I'm having fun with that. But I need to get back to this psychological thing. How many Black people do we go to psychologists, Sybil?
As a rule, it's getting better.
It's getting better,
but we're still far behind. Just like the numbers in terms of psychologists, less than 1 in 30 is Black. Just the same kind of thing is for Black folks going and doing therapy.
I've never done it. Would you do it? I know a lot of people that do. A lot of people love it. Yeah. You would go?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I have somebody that I talk to on the regular, and she says, don't think of me as your psychologist or your therapist, but it is a way of just kind of talking things through, and especially in light of what we just gone through.
Well, can't you talk to me about that? And I'll tell you the same thing they're going to tell you. Don't charge you. I got a friend that's a child psychologist, and he has no children. Wait a second. It's not funny. It's not funny. How the hell, what do you know about?
Well, George, by the same token, how about priest? They don't, they give advice on marriage and birth control and all of this other kind of stuff. And
Oh, they know about birth control. They know
okay.
about sex. They're not supposed to have sex, but they're having as much sex as anybody else.
That is crazy. All
Yeah.
right, George, let's take a step on to the next question. Our question of the day, what's really going on? We are now in the spring season, in the season of spring, and also the time of the resurrection. So the question for you, Dr. Wallace, and for those who are watching and listening today, what or who would you like to bring back? What would you like to renew? And I will tell you, I'll give you a couple of ideas of what brought this to mind. A couple of news stories that brought this to mind, and that is, first of all, a McDowell's pop-up restaurant is coming. Do you remember McDowell's from Coming to America?
Coming to America. I'm just going to say from Coming to America, and that's what you're talking about.
Yes. So in the month of May, shoppers at the Springfield Town Center in Virginia can walk through the golden arcs of McDowell's restaurants and order a Big Mick. Remember this? A burger that is totally different from that other sandwich because the buns don't have seeds. 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, no sesame seed bun. No, so
the other M company, they're not gonna fight this.
Well, they didn't do it before with the movie, and apparently this is not something that they want to mess with because this person who has these McDowell pop-ups, he says he goes into every town where he has the pop-up, and he explains to all the McDonald's owners and operators, and he doesn't seem to have a problem.
Well, that's pretty cool. I wish him the best. Yeah. That's cool. Is it a person of color?
I don't know. I have not seen him. But I'm thinking
McDowell.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it might be. But this person has done other pop-ups before, apparently. So it's a pop-up parody restaurant, a fan experience. It is crafted to be as screen accurate as possible, down to the striped wallpaper by the order counter. Remember that?
Yeah.
The only thing it's probably missing is the stain from the Jerry curl juice.
Now, a pop-up means it's not a permanent location, right?
That's exactly right.
Be moving on. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the instance of this story, we're revisiting perhaps a movie that you would like to revisit, that you'd like to bring back, and another, as they did with Coming to America. But here's another story that has come out, in which they are revisiting something. The mayor of Atlanta, George, your town.
Yes, fantastic guy.
Yes, Mayor Dre.
Andre wonderful. Dickens. I can't wait to meet him.
Well, he has kicked off a midnight basketball league to provide a safe space for people between the ages of 18 and 24 in order to help them stay off the streets. They said that their crime statistics indicate that the worst crimes take place overnight. And so this has been done in other cities, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside.
Really?
And as a matter of fact, Mayor Dre, when he was a city council person, had the midnight basketball league. But because of coronavirus, they had to cut it off, right? And so now
what we're going to prove that the guys that are playing basketball, these are the guys that were committing the crimes. Is that what you?
Or at least making things safer for them, and let's just say not that they were committing the crimes, because we don't want to judge and we don't want to accuse, but we're keeping people off the streets.
That's good. Anything like that can help, because we need it in Atlanta. Because let me tell you something. I thought it was just Atlanta, because every 5 stories in the news, somebody got shot. There was a shooting over here. There was a shooting. Then I went to Los Angeles. There was a shooting over here. It's all about guns and shooting. And the stupid governor of Georgia just signed the bill. You can just go buy a gun now with a candy bar.
And then there's that. So let's talk about some of these things that have been done in the past, like a movie, like Coming to America, where we just recently celebrated Coming to America, or the Midnight Basketball League, which was, we had it in Chicago. I know there were other cities that have it. Now Atlanta is leading the way in the Midnight Basketball League. So the question to you, George, is what would you like to revisit as we spring forth, as we are looking at a new season? What would you like to see be brought back?
Oh, man, coming from the city of Atlanta, you have no idea if I could see what we had in the 60s growing up, and everything was black here. You heard of the street called Sweet Auburn Avenue?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, Hunter Street, everything was black. And the food, the restaurants and the theaters and the entertainment, That's the first place I saw James Brown and the famous Flames at the Royal Peacock. And my first comedian was Jackie Mons Mabley at the Wallace Ballroom.
Really?
I'm not telling you about segregation. I'm just telling you it was really, really good. I wish I could see those days come back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also the day of respect, and people would hold the door for the ladies, and you would respect older people. You walking down the street, you would wave at people, hello. They still say good morning in Atlanta, but I would like to see those days. They'll never happen. Never happen. But it would be nice to relive the 70s.
I think that
I would like to also sit on the back of the bus so I could knock the hell out of that lady that made me get up.
So that brings a whole new thing to our conversation about what you would like to do, take back and do in today's times. But that's a whole nother question, I think, regarding that. But I like the idea of the more sense of community. Growing up on a street where you knew every person who lived on your block.
Did you live that?
Yeah, I can still tell you, going back in my mind, who lived on the corner and who lived next door to them. Those were the Harrells, and then the Stinsons, and then the Berries, and then the Greens, and then the Doziers, and then there was the school starting on the other side of the block. So I can still remember those days where you just knew every person's house.
Isn't that amazing?
Who occupied that house.
And I remember that, and you could just walk into someone's house. Anybody home? You could trust everybody. I'm like you. I knew everybody on my block and my place called Linwood Park, Atlanta. I still know these people. They don't live there now, but I knew Miss Truitt. She was in the church and she'd shake her head like that, and everybody would make fun of her. Miss Truitt, the Chapmans. I could go on, and we have 5 churches, and then everybody in the community. I still know my school teachers. People don't believe it. We should have Miss Brewer on this show one day.
Miss Brewer's still alive?
Don't you do that. Miss Brewer's still alive. Miss Helen B. Anderson is still alive. My first grade teacher, Miss Elizabeth Morgan, is still alive.
George, are you certain?
Don't do that. You could get Miss Edna Patterson on this phone right now. Miss Brewer will tell you she's responsible for me being a comedian. I used to walk down the hall. She says, Henry Wallace. That's my name. Henry Wallace, get in here and tell me a joke. I never will forget. I told her the joke about why do Eskimos wash their clothes in tide?
And why do Eskimos wash their clothes in tide?
Because it's too cold outside. And so Sybil, Miss Brewer looked at me. She says, boy, you know that ain't the kind of joke I want to hear. She wanted to hear a nasty, dirty joke from me. And
how old were you, George?
I was in the 6th grade, and she used to say, and his jokes, they were not that funny. She'll tell you that right now. They were not that funny. Mm-hmm. I said, Miss Brewer, but she is still alive. She still dresses like crazy. We went to her 94th birthday party 2 years ago. She's an awesome lady. She just, it's like your family. For PTA, I don't know what they call it now. Those teachers wouldn't go home. They would come have dinner in our homes with families. And then they go back to the PTA meeting. And my daddy was the president of the PTA and couldn't read. My dad couldn't read.
I never heard you say that.
Yep. 2nd grade, couldn't read, but he could count. That's what he was. But he was a leader. And anytime there was any money fundraising, Deacon Wallace they never pronounced our name as Wallace. Deacon Wally can do it.
Oh, right. Sure.
Deacon Wally, he can do it. So I come from a great community. If we could bring those days back, Sybil. A lot of people don't understand those lives. I have people that are friends, but they're family. Blood has nothing to do with family when you grow up in a community like that.
That's right.
And I just, and I know there are other people out there that grew up in great communities and knew everybody and respected everybody. And I don't know how to say this, and other people could whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
They can do, I don't know about Chicago, but in Atlanta, Georgia, Linwood Park, we had a lady named Miss Idale. She was the sheriff. And she would, anything going on in that street, she would know it.
Is that? Mm-hmm. She was the unofficial sheriff of that street.
Of Linwood Park, Osborne Road.
Oh, okay.
Everybody know Miss Idale.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Aubrey Williams on YouTube says, I would love to see more drive-up movies across the country. Oh, George. Aubrey, that's a great suggestion. And
you know what happened to him. You know what he remembers. That's what he's
sure. Do you remember being stuffed in the trunk of your car so your parents didn't have to pay as much? Is that what you're talking about, Aubrey? Or are you talking about going as a young man dating?
You're talking about close to the trunk. In the back seat. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. I remember going to the drive-in theater with my godmother, and she took me and my god sister and her kids, Tracy and Corky. And so we were going to see, I want to say it was, and I don't know why she was taking us to see Shaft in Africa, because we
Okay.
were too young for that, right? But there was a double feature, and it was called Weekend with the Babysitter.
Ooh.
It was
So,
not Disney.
so she told you guys take a nap now.
No, she was trying to, but we were like, "Whoa, what's going on there?" And as the movie continued and the things started happening on the screen, Uncanny just got lower and lower in her seat. She's just like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
Well, that's cool. The drive-in movie theaters, isn't that great? How about the counters at the drugstores? You would go sit and eat. Wasn't that food good back in the day?
So the only ones I remember are like Walgreens.
You don't remember F.W. Woolworth?
I do remember Woolworths, but
that's where all of the integration sit-ins started.
Right, but I don't remember the food counters, the luncheon counters at the Woolworths.
Luncheon counters. That's what you call it. That's what they call them, luncheon counters.
Yeah. So, did you have that in Atlanta growing up? Did you integrate any of them?
Yes, I went there. I was there with some of the marches. I'm from Atlanta, so our marches were not as bad as over in Birmingham, because the Jews and the blacks got along very well in Atlanta, as you saw driving Miss Daisy. So our first riot in Atlanta was 2 years ago.
Shut up.
That night. Remember the night that Big Mike spoke?
Yeah.
That was our first riot in Atlanta.
Wow.
During the days Dr. King lived here, we never had any shootings, any burnings, anything like that. That was our first riot in the city of Atlanta.
Wow. Wow. That's it.
It's always in a progressive city. They named the city a city too busy to hate. And that's why Atlanta today is the progressive city for blacks. As you know, this is Mecca for blackness.
Yeah.
And, if you haven't lived here, you should come and test it. I mean, they're coming now. It's still growing. It's a great place for black people. It's everything. I love it.
So for folks who are watching and listening, if you have suggestions like Aubrey had about bringing back the drive-in movie theaters, I absolutely love that. I love it. And as you have said, George, there's so many great things in terms of the communities that we had, and knowing folks' names. And when you got in some trouble, Mr. Prince would tell me, all right, Lil Wilkes, you go on now. You shouldn't be hanging out. And
go on now, right?
Go on now, right. So there were times like that I kind of missed.
Community, the village that helped raise people, but that doesn't happen anymore. So now everybody's got a gun and you can't talk to anybody.
Oh boy, and speaking as you mentioned, no gun licenses, no permits necessary.
That's in Georgia. That's why I'm writing a book called "There's Something Wrong with the People in the South." And it starts with your state and come all the way over, and it gets to South Carolina and Georgia and Mississippi and Alabama. Of course, Florida is going to be the #1 stupidest state, okay? So they got the stupidest laws in the world in Florida. So I'm writing a book, There's Something Wrong with the People in the South. And people, if you move to Atlanta, I'm telling you right now, you're going to wind up with a new hip, a bionic knee. Everybody down here has a new part of their body, or they're walking with a cane. That's one thing is in the South. So get used to that stuff too. But oof.
Wow, George. So as we wrap up our question of the day, I'm just thinking in terms of, as you mentioned, the food counters and the lunch counters, rather, and things that you would like.
Entertainment, the blackness that we had together in the community, and it's integration kind of screwed us up in a way.
So let me ask you this: would you like to still go to the segregated movie theaters?
Oh, let me tell you something. There's a theater in Atlanta, Georgia called the Fox Theater. It's one of the biggest places. You ever heard of that? Black people used to walk up 5 flights of stairs to get to the top. That's where we had to sit. And I did a show at the Fox. The last show I did, I said, this is the greatest place. Now you see me on stage. I remember the day we were up in top level up there. And the white people, what we would do, we would take we would take popcorn. We would urinate in a cup and dump it down on the white people.
Shut up.
And they couldn't come down. They couldn't come up there. We would do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have never heard that story. I've heard of people throwing things over, but I didn't know that they were soaked with your own.
Yes. with some real Pepsi. You got the right one, baby. Fresh Pepsi, warm Pepsi. You're talking about Dr. Pepper. We did that. Yes.
My mom just talked to how the seats were better from up high. You didn't have the being on the first level and the heads and
You
people
don't
being
find
in
that
your way.
today. You don't find that today. When I go to a show, mezzanine, that little first level up, you can see everything, especially at the theaters in New York City.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When you're doing Broadway and things like that. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, George Wallace, thank you for participating in my little question of the day.
I don't know whether I answered it right, but anybody else have a suggestion what to bring back?
Well, let's move on to our topical.
Okay.
Let's move on to topical. You are. So, George, let's talk about, and I will tell you why I'm asking you where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing. You told us about some of the other things that you're, with being on the talk with our friend Cheryl Underwood and what have you. Want folks to know that Huggy, Lowdown, and Chris Paul are appearing tonight at the Richmond Funny Bone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in Richmond, go check out my boys there. Damon, who has been a coach of sorts to Sherry Shepherd, as she has been opening now for Babyface and for Kim. Sherry has been the MC, if you will. And so in her approach to this, Damon has been on the road with her, and so he is headed to Memphis this weekend. He'll be performing at Memphis, and as you mentioned, George, you are going to be at Damon Williams Riddles come Mother's Day with Myra
J. Yeah, and it's got to be a great show. I don't know whether Damon's going to be there or not, but I know we're going to be there. I'm going to be probably I'm going to be doing new jokes, and I don't know whether they're going to work or not, but I'm not getting paid, so I don't care whether the jokes are funny or not. I'm doing these damn jokes. Okay? But it will be a great show for Mother's Day weekend. And it's also inviting people my age to come on back out.
Yeah.
And let's get some laughter in your life. So that's what we're going to do.
And the families. Let's have the generations of families come together.
I don't know. I won't be cussing.
That's okay. How about something new and different where you don't have to? Because I think cuss is overrated. I'm sorry.
You do?
I do.
I never.
But I'm the daughter of a cusser, so I heard all of this growing up. But being in the business of words, I think that there are other ways to express yourself than to throw out an F or bomb or whatever.
I've been doing it for 40 years, being clean, so now it's time to cuss.
Okay.
I cussed today. It was hard not to cuss on CNN today.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah. But good for you. You just brought the cussing here. Okay. So, George, let us talk about anything else you want to mention, what you have coming up, or you don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx anything, but since in the last 2 weeks, I've been like, I have the TV show. It's an animation called on HBO Max called 10-Year-Old Tom. So I did some voiceovers on that last week. Got 2 shows out of the way. And also, I got some stuff in the can that I just completely forgot about. And,
Okay.
And then I got a new project I told you about. So things are happening. And also we're getting very, very close with the Norman Lear project. So, and Laverne Cox, we're getting very close now.
Awesome.
Because COVID's held everything up. But I'm enjoying life and having fun. Most important, I got the yellow pad and I'm getting ready to roll again.
Yeah. You're serious about business when you got your legal pads
when
there.
I get that legal pad, that means, because if you don't do them on the legal pad, the jokes are not legal. I'm getting ready to have some fun with my buddy J. Anthony Brown. He wants to go out. We're going to do some things together. Just 2 old angry men. How about that? And,
I always thought that you guys would be great. And I remember suggesting this to Jay. I always thought you guys would be great in a remake of The Odd Couple.
That would be cool. Always arguing, fighting, and we that would be good.
Yeah, or the Sunshine Boys.
And everything we do is fun. And I don't even know whether they need to write a script if they would have just put us in a room and let us go.
Yeah, just let you go. I mean, I can attest to that. Just being in on your Twitter conversations or texting conversations. So, George, let's get your take on the Oscar situation. I know that you've been talking about the Oscar situation.
Mr. Oscar. Well, let me tell you. Everybody knows I was probably the most pissed off person in the world because I got slapped on stage. I got slapped.
Yeah.
And most comedians know what I'm talking about. And when he hit Chris Rock, he hit me across the line. And nobody loves Will Smith more than I do. And I was talking to his mom Sunday morning before it happened. My boy's going to take everything tonight. First of all, I thought this is the greatest Oscar I had ever seen in my life. Will Packer had produced the greatest show. I had never seen a set like that. The lighting, the design, the 3 hosts came out. We all knew Amy Schumer. We all knew Wanda Sykes. And everybody wondered, well, what is Regina Hall going to do? She
Right.
was my pleasant surprise. I'm sorry. I just thought everything I loved her. I don't know enough about her. I love her. She did a great job. And all of the inclusion, the
Yeah.
people of color, and then came Will.
Yeah.
And that threw me for it. So today it was hard. I was pissed off. I was really pissed off today. So I used the F word like 20 times a day. I don't like no Smith. F all the Smiths. F Emmett Smith. F Steve Smith on ESPN. F them all. Granny Smith and her apples. F them all. Every the Smith brothers and their cough drops. F them too. All of them. But and I can hear
Happy
Will now.
Sunday morning, everybody.
I can hear Will now. Keep my uncle's name out of your mouth. That's what the cough drops are for. Okay, so but F them all. I just F. I'm boycotting the Smithsonian Institute. F them all. And then I was so pissed off. I said F Judge Clarence Thomas and his wife Jenny too. They ain't no Smith, but F them anyways. So, but I was so disappointed in what Will did. It hurt me. It was a slap heard around the world. And Chris went on stage last night, and it was his first show back. They give him a 5-minute standing ovation. And I was surprised.
He had a great line too, George.
What did he say?
How was your weekend?
Oh yeah, that was the old man. How was your weekend? And they had a problem there. They had to kick a guy out. So what I'm saying, this has caused a problem now. It's inviting, is this an open invitation for people to walk up on stage? And I'm looking back, and things have been gradually happening. We had the guy named Steve Brown. Remember that fight on stage?
Yes, our friend Steve Brown, yeah.
Last night they had the usher guy out of a Chris Rock show. And I think we got to make an announcement before all the shows.
Well, have you seen the signs at the comedy clubs? Like in New York, there was one club that said there will be none of this if you are planning, or if you will be escorted out. If you do it, if you're planning, don't even bother coming in.
Exactly. So leave your problems at your door. These are jokes, and we're having some fun tonight. And that's what I want to say when I go on the stage. And I never to offend anybody. These are jokes. And but this weekend was pretty bad, and I do think I wish Chris had pressed charges. This is bad for me. I do think Chris should sue him, and people who say $200 million is a lot. Not for Will. He needs to learn a lesson. I love Will Smith, but not today. I love me some Will Smith.
So can I just share with people that the most interesting thing about Sunday night for me was being in a text chain with you and Myra J. and J. Anthony Brown and 3 comedians. Okay, so there was all of the excitement about the culture and the Black production team and all of this about Wanda and Regina and DJ D Nice and all of these things. This was all, the colors. George kept talking about the stage and how beautiful it was. And it was the colors, the staging, the
coordination,
beautiful. And then when the slap happened, I think to a person, none of us thought that it was real.
Oh, we didn't at first, because and then the sound went out, and we were texting each other. What happened? My sound went out. You guys tell me what happened. And your sound had gone out also. And it was like, was that because it would have been a beautiful sketch? But he hit him for real. I'm going, he didn't hit him because I look at professional wrestling all the time. And Chris was a man. Chris was a real rock, man. He stood there and delivered those lines, and I thought it was awesome. And then came Will. He ruined the evening for my friend. I don't even know Questlove, okay? But that was a big moment for him.
Right, and winning the documentary for his music documentary.
Summer of Love.
And
I was in New York when that happened. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And then also he messed up his own moment.
Yeah.
First Oscar he had, and they may ask him to return it. Who knows?
Well, that's the question. So the Academy has not decided what they're going to do. They say they are in the middle. They have started an investigation. A lot of people are saying that they're going to suspend him from the Academy, his membership. A lot of people saying that he should be kicked out of the Academy forever. And some people said, I'm surprised that he was able to take the Oscar home with him.
Right.
And so, but the interesting thing for me, George, is the swing that you experienced, because you were angry at what was done to Chris, and then you were angry because the word came out during the telecast that Chris wasn't going to press charges, and you were mad at Chris.
I was using some F words then too. I was mad at Chris.
Yeah.
You threw that. I'm sorry.
and
Send him to jail.
and
That hit me. I'm still choking up now because I felt the pain. I feel the pain now. And we got to suffer we got to worry about that the rest of our lives when we go out on stage. And Chris Rock, bless his heart, I don't care how much money if he does to him. Every day he wakes up, the slap is always going to be on his mind. Even if he get a new wife and they get in an argument, you got bitch slap.
Well, and the other thing that I worried about, George, and it's about his daughters.
But are they screwed up already?
Not that I know of. I don't know, but it watching your dad.
Oh, you mean Chris's daughters?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I apologize.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Will's.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean Will's kids, because they're kind of screwed up a little bit, right?
Well, they're different. I mean, they
doesn't screwed up and different mean the same thing? but okay, we never should talk about kids, but they're 20 years old now, aren't they?
Oh, at least.
Okay, so but they're different. I'll go along with you. I apologize, family. I love her, and I love Will Smith's mother. She's just as nice as she can be. She might be mad at me for some of the things I said, but that's how I feel. Well, and as I tweeted out, she would have whooped his ass had she been there for acting like that.
Well, I think there's a lot of disappointment on a number of people's parts, but I thought about what, and I'm still of the feeling that this was just a moment in Will's life that he did not take the time to process and to think about it and kind of say, okay, dude, think about what you're doing. He was caught up, and I don't think that's who he is. I just don't think that's who he is.
I never liked to hear that expression. That's not me. Oh, well, who the hell was it? It wasn't you.
Well, everybody has everybody has the angel and the devil on their shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And in this particular moment, the
devil just jumped up. The devil made me do it.
The greater devils worked against the lesser angels.
What did he say? Denzel told him, God what?
When you are at your highest, that's when the devil really comes to do his work.
And the devil showed up on the spot.
Yeah, showed up on the spot. Absolutely.
Yeah, Denzel was right. And I feel sorry for Will. I still love you, Will Smith.
Nice. But nobody better step up on you. Because you're 6'12".
I'm 6'12". Red Fox taught us a long time ago. Anybody come up on that stage, you take that mic stand and greet them very well. Greet them very well. There's nothing heavier than the base of a mic stand. Am I right?
Oh, that's true.
Let them feel it.
That's true. Yeah. And
but I don't want anybody approaching the stage when I'm up there. It's all about fun. Don't come to the stage.
And like Myra J., and not to borrow from her theme, but for you as well, it's all about love.
It's all about love. Laughter is the greatest. It's healing. It's the greatest. When you stop laughing, you stop living. And that's why people come to the comedy shows. Why do they come to comedy shows? To relieve all of their pressures, forget their bills. Laughter, when you stop, laughter was the glue of the show.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The Oscars. Without all of that laughter, none of that happens. None of those award shows do well without laughter.
Yeah. Yeah. And George, do you remember the movie? I think we've talked about this before, but do you remember the movie that you produced right after 9/11? And it was laughter.
Yeah. Laughing in the Spirit.
That's
I have that.
That's right.
I got some things I need to bring out. I got the Laughing in the Spirit I produced with the Yolanda Stocks. Also, we got I got Sly and the Family Stone concert live in Las Vegas with me. I have that on tape and in the can. His first show after 26 years. And I love Sly and the Family Stone. Watching the Oscars Sunday night, Sly and the Family Stone music was there. And,
in Questlove's. Yeah.
It was great.
Great music. Great music in that show. Yeah. So I think that it'll be interesting to see how this all falls out, George. What would you like? Ideally, you talked about, suing him, but ideally, how would you like for this to end up as we close out this segment?
I wish they could get together and because apologies on television means absolutely bull crap. Right. He didn't even write that.
Right.
He read that, and that's a PR person to put out those statements. So it would be nice. I'll never forget it. I'll tell you what, had he slapped me, he could come up to me and I love you, man, and hug me. And when I love you too. But one day I'm going to knock. The rest of Chris Rock's life, he will never forget it. Even kids that are not even born, they go, "Oh, you're the guy that got slapped 15 years ago."
That's not the way you want to end up.
Yeah,
No, no,
I'm
you don't want.
sorry.
You don't want people to remember you that way. On either side.
And I,
You don't want to be remembered as the man who was slapped, but you do want to be remembered as the man who took the bigger stand on all of this. And I think
you're
that was
never going to look at
Chris.
it that way.
I think that was
You're
Chris.
just going to look, you know, you always look at the negative side. You got slapped. And
Mm,
that's, let me tell you something. When he goes on stage in some of these, especially some of these black audiences, some guys out there are going to challenge him.
yeah.
Why you didn't fight him back? You're a bitch, Chris.
Mm.
That's going to happen. Excuse my language to people that go to church and all, but I cuss good now.
All right, George Wallace, let's talk about some entertainment.
Okay, let's go.
In the entertainment section, Maxwell is back.
Okay.
The-
Last time, was he on the ship with us?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Maxwell was there. Yes, he was on the Fantastic Voyage. His last, he's back, and now this is the night tour. He popped up in Brooklyn at Barclays Center the other night and is still working on his Art of Seduction. And this is, of course, the long-awaited finale to his musical trifecta, Black Summer's Night, set for release this spring. So we're bringing back some Maxwell, bringing sexy back. And he discusses in the interviews now promoting this, he's discussing the need to celebrate women, his Caribbean heritage, and inspire fans to spend the night making babies after going to a Maxwell concert.
How about that, whether you're married or not? Might as well. Well, you know, celebrating women, you got to, you know, and for him, that's got to be a great. Did you say cruise or just something in the Caribbean? What's he doing?
Well, no, this is he talks about his Caribbean heritage.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember when he came on the cruise, he was on the ship for that night. And he had been in the Caribbean visiting his father and doing some other things. I think he was even doing some rehab work for one of the storms that had come through. Yeah. And so and Myra J, she didn't say anything about how she spent the rest of her night when she went to see Maxwell, but I'm assuming maybe there might have been some activity.
We didn't see her till the next day. And she was happy with a smile on her face.
Okay. He says that we have been through an amazing journey, even with all the protocols that we have to go through and to give people what they want. But he says it is an absolute delight working with and watching folks like Joe and Anthony Hamilton, and how much people appreciate his music, as well as all of the good things that have come out of his music, such as spending the night,
making people happy.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I never get to see guys like a lot of shows, because why? Since I've been a comedian from day one, I think I've been on stage every night around 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I never get to see a lot of entertainers and talk about even other comedians. I've been on stage like every night at 8 o'clock, especially on the weekends.
And George, and when you do get to see him, they're on your stage. That's how you get to see him. You bring them
to my show. You working?
Yep.
You're working. Yeah,
absolutely. And from the sublime to the ridiculous, George, Fox News announced they have hired Caitlyn Jenner as a contributor and commentator, which I thought was appropriate for the entertainment segment. I'm very serious.
I can't.
They've hired her as a contributor and with her first appearance on the Fox News channel. She's going to be a contributor and commentator as this follows her unsuccessful run for governor of California last year.
So you don't know exactly what she's going to do, what segment she's going to.
No.
You think it could be entertainment, or is it going to be politics?
I think it's going to be entertaining, since, and I think she's going to try to do politics, but I think that her run for governor was such an abysmal failure in that she really could not come up with a theme or ideas and plans for what she wanted to do to help the state of California. She could never really make that into a concrete platform that it is going to be. I wish her best. I wish her the very best. I don't know that she has anything, but
what does she have to offer? I mean, political wise.
Well, they're hoping that she's going to be representing for the LGBTQ plus community.
I hope she does well. Whatever she does, that's the way you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fox needs some positive people on their show.
Okay.
They should have more blacks over there. You think?
I can't comment on that. I have such respect for
Chris Wallace.
well, oh God, yeah, and he's gone. And he's gone now. He left Fox News, but I have such respect for like Arthel Neville and folks like that who, working over at Fox and doing things like that. But in all good consciousness, I just don't know. I don't know
Well,
if I could do that.
they got to make a change eventually. They got to make a change and change over eventually.
Well, this is part of their change is hiring Caitlyn Jenner.
Hire me. I can do my segment. That's the way I see it. That's the way it ought to be.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be the change that they should seek, George.
Yeah.
Absolutely. George, speaking of change, let us end this show with our daily inspiration, and that would be Yogi's Jewels. Even the fondest memories fade. Continue to create new ones. How's that?
As they say that in church, read again.
Yeah, you know what? George, I think I gave you the wrong Yogi's Jewel. I'm seeing.
Hey, Sybil.
Yes.
That's why I said read it again.
Read again.
It's something about your health.
Yeah.
Your wealth and your health.
Our health. Okay, so reset here, ladies and gentlemen. Our health and time are precious assets. Treat them as such. Make the most of them.
Enjoy your life.
That's right.
Do things that make you happy. Travel. Spring is coming up. Get ready to travel. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. Enjoy whatever you do. How about that?
And George Wallace, we enjoy you every time you come and join us. Thank you so much.
Well,
aloha,
so
everybody.
Aloha. Don't say that.